attention.
Hello.
Still got Johnny back here. I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. And we're going to talk some more about Big Brothers.
God,
Every
yes.
week we do this.
Every week
So
we
let's
do this,
again.
and every week it's better and better and better.
Yes.
You know, I was heartbroken that they sent Jason home, but boy, that really just helped make the season better.
It really did. It lit a fire under people's ass.
And I hope he's at home watching going, all of this is for me.
That's right. They're avenging my death or whatever it is.
I hope it at least makes him feel a little bit better.
Yeah. So the power couple, the
Power
showmance is done.
Split it up.
Splitsville. Clay's gone.
Clay's gone.
And it was pretty obvious when they showed the live eviction, when they were like all sitting around waiting for it, because Shelly was dressed for the HOH competition and Clay was in his really nice outfit. So
Right,
it's like,
wearing
okay,
his
clearly,
cowboy boots.
yeah, clearly Shelly's not going anywhere, but they did the vote anyway, and then it was unanimous.
Yeah, I was a little frustrated because Wednesday night it was so close on who was going to be evicted, and then it was in a unanimous vote. So I was not clear on what changed Meg and Jackie's minds, but I guess Clay campaigned enough for himself to go.
Yeah, right.
Not to save himself. So that happened.
He's gone.
I don't think that was a bright decision to keep Shelly
I don't
because
think
she's
so
such
either.
a strong player.
But I think maybe though, now that she doesn't have Clay and that whole alliance is starting to fall apart, like, I don't know, maybe other people thought like, I can get Shelly on my side and she is a really good game player, so maybe she can help me now that she's not tied down to
She's
Clay.
definitely not, I mean, we'll get to that later, but she's not, she's not so strong of a threat at this moment.
Yes. I also did you notice during the live eviction when they were giving their votes, Johnny Mac goes in, hello, typical Johnny Mac, right? And the audience, I think, loves him. They started to laugh after he did his like signature hello.
Right.
But then, did you notice that part of his thing was like bleeped out? They like cut out, because I think he said, I vote to evict Clay, but right before he said evict, he sort of stumbled.
Yeah.
And you could see his lips moving, but the sound cut out, and I think he said clit by accident and like stumbled over his words. And then he said evict. I watched it like 5 times. So I was like, what happened there? And I was like, oh my God.
Oh my,
and then the audience was like giggling after he left the diary room, because I think they were like, oh my God, he just said clit.
Funny. He did stumble. I do remember that. Oh my gosh. I didn't play it back though.
It was very
You
funny.
always catch the weirdest things. So then we had our endurance or physical competition.
Yes, for HOH. Guess who wins?
Well, we know it's Becky.
Becky, yeah.
She won by a landslide.
Oh my gosh, she won all 3 prizes. She's never going to be a half-not again.
Yep.
She got 5K. On top of the 5K she already has from that Power Veto competition.
Yeah.
And then she's HOH this week.
She had enough time to go for all 3. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. And again, Austin is one of the worst ones.
I was just about to say, Austin looked horrible. When is he? I just need him to look like he's a threat.
I wonder,
physically.
now that you say that, I wonder if that's strategic on his part.
No, it's not. It is not. You can tell by the way he's talking. And I have to say that Liz has pointed it out too a few times. She's been like, he needs to start winning. He needs to start pulling his weight.
He's got to protect us.
Yeah, which I would say the same thing.
I
think he's doing nothing but just being there right now. So when Becky won, she's been floating between the 2 sides.
Yeah.
And I wasn't honestly sure which way she was going to go.
Yeah, because she was sort of loyal to Clay and Shelly last week. She like gave them a heads up that they were targets. But then she's, you know, chummy with James and Jackie, but she came out guns blazing in that HOH room. She
sure did. We had no idea. I mean, she was barely shown the first half of this season.
Right.
So it's valid that we didn't know what side she was on.
Yeah.
But now she's like, ooh, I'm on this show now. Let's do this.
I'm in charge. Yeah. So her plan is, well, okay, so it's a backdoor plan. She's, you know, pretending to go along with the plan from last week, which was we're going to vote Clay out this week and then Shelly's the target next week. So she's like, I got to put Shelly up and I'm going to put her next to Steve. But then we're going to backdoor Vanessa. That's her plan.
Yeah, so the plan the week before, everyone was kind of just forced into doing it because they were splitting up Shelly and Clay. So whoever does not get out that week will get them out the next week. But it was Shelly and Johnny Mac because people are trying to get Johnny Mac out. Vanessa being one of those. Vanessa
Yes.
was like, we need to get Johnny Mac out.
Yes, right.
Well, Becky is obviously close with Johnny Mac, so she's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm putting up Steve instead, and then we'll backdoor Johnny Mac. That was the thing she was putting out there, and she did a really good job of saying, like, don't let anyone know that we're not going by this plan.
Right.
I will carry all of this myself. I will say it's my decision. Let's just pretend like everything is fine this week.
Yeah.
I thought that was smart.
That was very smart. And it was, I mean, I'm impressed that she, you know, is wanting to make such a big move. I didn't know Becky had it in her.
Nope.
But she does.
She likes this power.
Yep, she does. You know what? You know, who likes Becky is James. Have you noticed that whenever a female is HOH, James comes up to that room and like makes a beeline for their photos.
Any girl.
And he's like, oh yeah, that's a real nice two-piece you got there, Becky. I was like, that's a very good euphemism for her boobs. Like a nice two-piece.
He likes all girls, and then he also likes their moms.
Their moms,
as well.
yeah. Oh my god, he's like in love with everyone in that house.
He's a mess. There was actually a line Vanessa said one day when she was like explaining who was actually a threat, and she was like, James just likes chicks.
Yeah.
I mean, she like threw that out one day. I mean, it's so funny because it's true. James is just into girls.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever. He's stuck
to
in the
each
house
his own,
now.
I guess, you know.
So Becky's doing some power moves.
Yep, and Vanessa has no idea. Also, when Becky finally named the nominees, she followed through with the plan. It's Shelly and Steve. But she had told Shelly in advance that this was the plan.
Shelly was the only one outside of her little group.
James, Meg, Jackie, and Becky.
Yeah, which could have backfired on her.
Yeah.
Could have been a bad idea, but I did think it was smart to try to get Shelly as an ally.
Yes.
And to sort of just give her a heads up. Like, she didn't need to freak out and, like, go overboard.
Right.
She wasn't the target.
Right.
Of course, Vanessa is the closest thing to Shelly in the house now that Clay's gone. So hearing that she's the target, it doesn't really do much for you. That doesn't help you.
Right.
So
but I think it was just like sort of this olive branch. Like, look, trust me, like maybe we can work together down the line. You know, it just seems to be further dismantling the Sixth Sense Alliance, like picking them off one by one, which is what you got to do because right now they have the numbers.
Yep.
So anyway, she tells Shelly that this is the plan, and she's like, when I say that you're up on the block, you gotta like start crying and whatever. And then Shelly totally did not. She was smiling and hugging people. I was like, Shelly, come on.
She didn't play that very well.
Yeah.
Spoilers! Time for spoilers!
Spoiler alert.
Steve wins the power of veto.
Good old Steve finally wins a comp.
Finally wins a comp.
Yep. Becky challenged him to win a comp.
It was that.
And he did.
Comic book. Yeah, exactly. It was that comic book one that takes forever.
Oh, yeah.
Which would take some brain power, so glad Steve actually does have the brain power.
Good on you, Steve.
So, of course, he's going to take himself down off of the block, which means it's opened for Vanessa to be backdoored.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. So, she was blindsided. Let's all remember, she blindsided Jason and the rest of the house.
Absolutely.
So, this is just what I call karma.
It's a little taste of her own medicine.
This should not be a shock, but yet Vanessa is completely shocked.
Yeah.
Totally caught off guard, saying things like she's playing with such integrity and that Becky is not.
Yeah.
And that Vanessa's good with her word, but Becky is not. And then she has no idea, she does not understand why this would happen to her.
I mean, it's sort of unreal, but I guess credit to everybody else in the house for not saying anything.
Yes.
And Vanessa was
They
totally
executed this pretty darn
good on them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But Vanessa's, I mean, she has a screw loose if she thinks that, like, she's playing this game with integrity.
She does have some screw looses. I mean, it's mind-boggling how she doesn't see all of the things she's done. Here's what I love about Big Brother. I like when a player comes in and plays the game. They lie, they manipulate, they deceive, but they then go into the diary room and they let us in on the game. And they say, I had to say this, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
She's not doing that because she believes her own lies. She comes into the diary room and then lies to us.
Yeah.
She's certifiably, I don't know, I can't quite figure her out.
Yeah.
But she believes her own lies and doesn't see the truth of what's going on, and that is going to be her downfall in this game.
Yep.
I know that we still have time. She could campaign her way to stay in this house.
Yeah,
She's
maybe.
very good at manipulating.
And she is up against Shelly, and Shelly was a huge target last week, so, you know, potentially she could talk her way out of this and send Shelly home.
She could, but I think her game is pretty blown up no matter what.
Plus, if Shelly goes home, then Vanessa's really effed because she's got nobody. Like Austin, but what good does Austin do? He can't win a comp to save his life.
Austin is in no position to save himself or anybody else.
Right.
And yeah, Vanessa and Shelly are both in a bad place, even if one of them gets to stay. Well, one of them will stay.
Yeah.
And I believe we're coming into a double eviction this week coming up.
Yeah.
Whoever wins head of household this week is going to be pivotal.
Yeah.
It's going to be important.
Absolutely. It's very, very exciting.
It's so exciting. Apparently Becky had a really good speech planned, and she kind of called Vanessa out. She didn't just say, hey, this is a game decision, you're a threat. She was like, you did some things to me and I want you out of here.
Right.
And so at one point after Vanessa cried herself enough, she went down and was like, Becky, I just need you to tell me what it was. And Becky started to tell her, and Vanessa like tried to twist things, and Becky was like, you know what, I don't owe you anything. She's like, all I'm gonna say is you put me in a bad situation that I didn't want to be in, and now I'm backdooring you.
Yeah.
And she walked away, and then Vanessa like loses it, and she was like, who is she, my mother, to yell at me and then walk away? And she like stormed through the house saying Becky yelled at her, and it's just like, whoa, bring the drama down just a smidge.
She sort of turned into a little bit of a day, like playing with so much emotion, can't keep anything inside, like keep your poker face on.
Yeah, where's that poker face I heard so much about?
Where is it? It's gone.
I have not seen it.
It disappeared.
I thought that those tears were part of her game.
That's what I thought too. I thought she was acting and just could really work herself up and like, was using it at strategic moments, but then you sort of realize that no, she just sort of cries anytime she feels betrayed by someone she like quote unquote trusts, even though she doesn't really trust anybody, and that I don't think she has as much control over that as we thought at first. And also she, you know, her and Shelly was the first person to talk to her after the veto ceremony, and you know, they're both on the block, and they were like, you know, I love you, I'm not going to campaign against you. And then literally like 10 minutes later, Vanessa was like, well, I'm not going down without a fight. She was like, I won't say your name, Shelly. She was like, but I'm not going down without a fight. And I was, oh, okay. All right.
Well, there we go.
You're not so good for your word, are you, Vanessa?
Oh, no, but she's really good for her word, guys.
Really good, yeah.
Woo!
The one other thing I loved during this set of 3 episodes was their little tribute to Steve. Because Steve hasn't gotten so much camera time yet this season. He's been laying low by his own admission. He has no blood on his hands. But they do this little montage, and I just knew. I was watching that, and I was like, Sarah is eating up every second of this montage of him, like, dancing around in the kitchen and like dropping plastic cups onto vases and standing literally facing a wall, like standing in a little room by himself and just looking at the wall. He's the most. Anyone like who's even mildly on any kind of spectrum, Sarah's on board.
I love him. I love it so much. And I love that he like owned up to it. He was like, I've always been this weird. That's just what I do. Like I kind of feel like if I were in the house, I might do that kind of stuff too. Where I just like wander around a room and be like, what's going on here?
Just explore the space, you know, get to know the Big Brother house.
Sometimes it's better than sitting out at the pool and talking about stupid stuff.
Becky.
Whew, that girl. Anyway, okay, so this week we're gonna see either Shelly or Vanessa go home. I think probably Vanessa, but again, who knows? And
I think this will officially be the end of the Sixth Sense.
They're doing pretty rough. But you never know, if one of them wins head of household this week, the power could shift again.
The power shifts.
And that's why we love Big Brother. Also, Johnny Mac is still running the house. I just have to throw that in there. I really feel like that kid is gonna just take it all.
Take it all, I hope so.
Okay, who do you guys think, who's leaving this week? Did Vanessa ruin her game?
Yeah, do you think Becky's getting too much blood on her hands? What do you think of these decisions?
Okay guys, see you next week.
See you later.